Hello, everybody, and welcome to another session of Ask the Expert. And we keep on with these French records because they are really amazing. I don't stop seeing in social media and everybody sharing what wonderful records and what wonderful clues they are discovering for their family. So today, we're going to have a little bit of a different style of presentation, what you are used to if you are somebody who is with us for some time. Normally, this is a hands-on presentation and we will keep it that way, but you also may know I'm not the expert on French records. So I actually brought a real expert. I brought you Elisabeth Zetland, and she's French. Yeah, she was born there. She speaks the language. And not only that, she has a PhD with honors in medieval history from the Paul Valéry University in Montpellier, France. Elisabeth is a researcher, and her talents and experience, as well as her passion for genealogy, made her a natural fit for MyHeritage. When she joined after, I have to admit it and say it because we're among friends, after a couple of tries, she really wanted to work on MyHeritage, and she started in 2011 under the translation department. Guess under who? Yep, I was the head of the translations department on that time. In 2012, she became the MyHeritage country manager for the French-speaking markets. And since 2016, she is a full-time member of the genealogy research team. And this collection actually is wonderful for her because she allowed her to do some research on her family. So I invited Elisabeth to come and to show us actually how to do research on those collections. So Elisabeth, please go ahead.
Hello, Daniel. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Daniel, for the introduction. We are going to delve into the new French collections that we published on MyHeritage 2 weeks ago. So during the previous session, the Director of Content Operations at MyHeritage, Mike Mansfield, explained already the administrative divisions of France, the history of the recording of the parish and civil vital events, the recording of the censuses every 5 years, and the general situation of the archives in France. So I won't go back to that. And if you haven't seen it, I'm inviting you to watch it. So let's dive into these fantastic collections that we released on October 13. We published almost 500 million, 463 records precisely from the Philae catalog. Philae is a leading French genealogy company recently acquired by MyHeritage. So this is really a milestone for French people and people with French roots. And there are more coming to MyHeritage very soon. So these collections are French baptisms and civil births from 1650 to 1900. We have also an index of church and civil marriages in France from 1650 to 1916, an index of church burials and civil deaths from 1650 to 1945. We have the 1872 French census. This census was supposed to happen in 1871, but it was delayed because of the Franco-Prussian War in 1870 and the collapse of the Second Empire. And we have the 1906 French census. So These collections cover nearly all France, and they include a high quality index of the transcribed records and digital images of the original documents. And this is what we are going to see. So always check the research section of your family site. Click at the bottom of the page, you see you can click directly of the latest collection we added, and you can simply access this way. So let's see a first example from the church, baptism, and civil birth collection. By the way, you can see here in the related collection section, right side, that you can easily access to the other French collections. So we have here the baptism record of one of my ancestors, my 5 times great-grandfather, François Mascarade, born in 1788 in a very small place in southern France in the department of Tarn-et-Garonne. A department is an administrative division, and there are 101 in France. So we have his name, the type of the record, the date and the place of the event, and the source of the record. What's even better is that we can see the image of the record and gather more information. So now I know that having French roots doesn't mean you speak French, or at least you read French, and I won't tell you you need to learn French, but there are a few keywords that you should know. And here are 2 of them, parrain and marraine, meaning godfather and godmother. And very often these people are relatives, so it's very important to collect these names. Here we can see a birth record of another of my ancestor, another François Mascarade, born in 1839, grandson of the previous one, by the way. And the information that we can get from the image is the names of the parents, their ages, their occupation, their residence. These kinds of records, vital records, are always useful and interesting information. So it's very nice that we can have this, we can see these images, the document itself. Let's see now the church marriages and civil marriage collection. But this time, let's go to my family tree and see this record match, because of course, new records are automatically compared to our million family trees on MyHeritage using our record matching technology. So in the card of my 6 times great-grandfather, you can see here, Jean Mascarade, the brine icon indicates that there is a record match. So let's click to review the match. This is a marriage record from 1784. So we have the names of the groom and the bride, the date and the place here. In the document itself, we can get more details about the couple, like their residence and occupation. This record is precisely a marriage ban. Meaning the young couple, Jean and Jeanne, they announced their intention to be married soon. So now I can admit that even if you speak or at least read French, it can be challenging to decipher some records, and this one is a good example. So we've just seen the case of a marriage ban, and now this one is a marriage record. So here, Jean and Marie, married on May 17, 1835 in Marsac, another small village in southern France, still in the French department of Tarn-et-Garonne. So when you open an image, the record will be always highlighted in dark pink. Here it happens that it's the whole page. And if you download, clicking on the arrow at the right corner, you will be able to see the record this way. This one is much easier to read and gives all the information a marriage record can give you. So you have the names of the groom and the bride, their age, occupation, residence, their birthplace, the same information about their parents, very interesting, and the names and details of witnesses. So this one is very complete and well written also. So going back to the search engine, here is the church burials and civil death collections with the description and the search page. You know that you see that in the description you can click the arrow to get more description, and that you can get to more collection in the related collection section. So here we have, I'm showing you an example from 1815 with the name of the deceased, my 6 times great-grandfather, by the way, Jean Mascarade. As we have the date and the place of the death. So the dark pink part is the record itself we are interested in. Let's click to see the image, and we read here that Jean died at 10 p.m., that he was a widower, as his wife is mentioned as the late Jeanne Dupuis. Interesting is also the information of who declared the event. And here there are 2 neighbors of the deceased. Sometimes it can be a relative. So it gives a glimpse of our life's ancestors. These 2 neighbors were maybe not only neighbors, but also friends of our deceased. In this example of the death record of Antoinette Vedel from 1867, what's even better is that it gives precious information to add 1 more generation in our tree. So it is also very easy to read, which is nice, as you can see here. So we have, besides the name and occupation of the 2 witnesses, who are also neighbors, the place and the hour of death. She died at 10 a.m. Her age, she was 56 years old. The name of her husband, Jean Mascarade. So we know he's still alive. He was, by the way, my 4 times great-grandfather. But also we have the names of her late parents, Antoinette Vedel and Anne Ledouce. So this way we know that they are both dead. But not what's interesting. The record is about Antoinette Vedel. She was married to Jean Mascarade. You see the name of the parents, Antoine Vedel and Anne Ledouce. So this is the norm in French records. The married women are listed, recorded with their maiden name, and this is very precious in family history. And so this record is a very useful death record, very, very complete. So let's move now to the 1872 census, and let's search for my great-great-grandfather, Jean Dubuc, born in 1859. So the first result is indeed him, and clicking on view record, we can see the record page with his name in 1872. He was 12 years old. And clicking the image, we see Jean, and look for the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 around him. So this is an indication to understand who the members of one single family are. And according to the age of each person, we can try to understand who is who. So here we have our Jean, age 12, and we have also his parents and his paternal grandfather. So now look carefully at the name of Jean's mother. You see it's not Dubuc like the rest of the family, it's a different family name. Doesn't mean, of course, she was not married to Pierre. It's just that exactly like in the census, like in the death record we've just seen, married women are recorded with their maiden name. So this is always a very precious piece of information. So what we do find here in the 1872 census, we have the numbers of the houses or streets or the name of the farms, like in this page, the last names you see it's nom de famille in French, first names it's prénom. Occupation is in the column you can read titre, qualification, état ou profession et fonction. Just means occupation. You have the genders and the marital status. So it's you have several columns. Garçon means that the person is a man or boy and is not married. Homme marié means married man, and veuve means widowers. Fille means girl, so it's a single woman. Femme mariée, married woman, and veuve are widows. Age, very conveniently, is the same word in English. And then you have the nationality and lieu de naissance, which is the birthplace, plus extra column observations, if there are, because there are none in this page, but it can be an interesting piece of information. So let's go back to the family tree and let's click research this person in the side panel profile of my great-grandfather, Léon Dubuc. And this way, click, let's click so on this research this person, and let's finish with the 1906 French census. So we saw here in the page record his name, his birth year, his birthplace, his residence at the moment the census was taken, and implied we have the names of his parents and sister. So we can see here a few lines redacted. Just for you to know, it's due to privacy French rules and laws. So the information regarding people born at the earliest in 1901 will be redacted. And at the bottom of the page, we have the whole family with the age of each member of the family. So let's check the image. We see here again the information about the family with our Léon highlighted in dark pink. Let's zoom in to see the family. So we have Jean, the head of the family. So search for the word chef. Chef means the head of the family in this case. Marguerite is his wife, listed as épouse, spouse, and Léon is the son, so it's fils in French, F-I-L-S, and Léonie, the daughter, fille, F-I-L-L-E. So you see here the whole family. So you see here, the all information we can gather are the same we have in the 1872 census, meaning the numbers of streets, houses, the names of the farms, like in this page, the first family names and the first names, year and place of birth, nationality, occupation. But in this census, what's interesting is the relationship of each person is clearly indicated in the column. Situation par rapport au chef de ménage, meaning the relationship to the head of the household, the chef, as I told you before, being the head of the family. And we are done here with these wonderful French collections. Stay tuned, because this is only the beginning and there are more French collections coming very soon. And I thank you.
Okay, merci beaucoup, Elisabeth. Now you can all know why she is so excited about these new collections when she can find all her family. Did you notice her family tree going back to the 1700s so easily? That's why I envy them, the French people, so much. But you know what? Whenever I see those records, those early records, and how they I cannot make sense of the script over there. I feel a little bit better. So at least they're getting a little bit back. Okay, so as always, I'm gonna open the microphones, but first some of the announcements and important announcements, because I like to do this as the experts on Thursday, so you can prepare yourself for the weekend. If you have not realized yet, Halloween is coming. I know in the States, everything is orange. And at the beginning, I thought, well, they're celebrating MyHeritage. No, they're celebrating Halloween very soon. So MyHeritage also decided to celebrate with you. And now it's something that we celebrate around the world. And we decided to do that, allowing you to access all the death records for free. So you can simply go into the search engine and you can look into the death records, and you will be able to get them for free without any payment. Not only the Billion Graves collection of cemeteries and tombstones, but all the death obituaries and all the records related to the death. Now, also reminding you, and probably next time we will dedicate a little bit of time to this as well, the new updated theories of family relativities. I spent a couple of days looking at mine and the people that I manage their DNAs, and I actually really like some of the new theories that MyHeritage gave me. If you want to know how those theories work, if you want to know how to search for more records, if you want to know more about genealogy in general, the MyHeritage knowledge base is definitely the place. You can go into education.myheritage.com. And as always, I place those URLs on the chat. You don't need to register. You don't need to pay. You don't need to have an account. You can watch the webinars. You can watch the videos, read the articles, or download the material that we have over there available for you with no problem. And if you are into webinars, and Elisabeth already mentioned the recording of last week here as the expert, but also in the Family Tree webinar page, Mike Mansfield did a wonderful webinar about records, the recent updates on the records, including these French collections. If you can hear French, also Elisabeth has a few webinars over there that you can enjoy as well. Now, from my side is just the invitation always on Thursdays at 1 p.m. New York time, no matter where in the world you are. And I know we are about to change times. So it comes to, these days that we don't know exactly if it's 1 hour less, 1 hour more. Well, if it's 1 p.m. New York on a Thursday, I'm gonna be there with this 30-minute session of genealogy and open mic for you to ask your questions. And definitely this is the right time to allow you to unmute. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, I will be more than happy to try to answer at least. Quiet crowd today. No questions. It doesn't need to be about the records. It can be about anything. Sure, we're gonna end earlier.
I have a little question.
Okay, hi, Michelle.
Hi.
Yes, please, Pat, you're next.
I have a DNA puzzle that I'm doing.
Okay.
For somebody else. And we don't know either of the parents or grandparents or any connections at all. And I've worked out by building trees some of the well, two of the common ancestors, shall we say, but we don't know what generation they are. We don't know whether they're parents, grandparents, and so on, you know.
Okay.
So they could perhaps be, because it's a little complicated, but it's possible that they could be as far back as great-great-grandparents, or maybe only grandparents.
Okay.
So how would you juggle with it if you had a map of yourself being there, and then the normal parents, and then the grandparents and the great-grandparents? How would you juggle with common ancestors, knowing where they are? Do you have to guess and then try and put the map together, or
well, definitely, Michelle, there is some kind of guessing, okay?
The one thing I wanted to say in between was we suspect that both the parents weren't married, and perhaps even one of the grandparents weren't married. So, you know, that makes it complicated in the sense of trying to put couples together. I just thought I'd add that bit.
Okay, so first of all, marriage has nothing to do with DNA, okay? The kids are the results of parents' activities, and either with a certificate or without a certificate. Now, there are clues that you can use, and one of the clues is the percentage. I like to speak on percentage. Other people refers them to centimorgans. The amount of DNA that you are sharing with your match, or the match of the other person in this case. For example, I share 50% with my parents, 25% with my grandparents, and 12% with my great-grandparents. So if I will have a match with somebody and it's in the 12% range, I could guess that it's my great-grandparents, which is, of course, it's impossible because they never tested DNA. But you need to think that every jump you do in a family tree, you are losing 50% of your DNA. So my cousin actually also has 12% of the DNA matching with me. Remember, I am 100, parents is 50, the brother of the parents is 25, and the kid will be 12. So this will more or less allow you to put the people in the right place on the tree. You also need to take in account the age of the person, okay? If it's a younger person, should be probably below yourself. If it's an older person, should be a little bit up. And then you need to take in account endogamy, because sometimes we get what we call false positive. I may get 6% of DNA with a person, but that is kind of an exaggerated match because our grandparents were cousins, okay? And they intermarried all together, and that exacerbate the amount of DNA that came to the next generation instead of coming the regular 50%, and that may throw me a little bit off. But for sure, what you should do, besides all the guessing, the mapping, and all that, is to get in touch with the other person, with the match, and try to see if they know something about the family. And remember, DNA don't lie. So even if the records doesn't prove it, if the names doesn't sound, if it says that it's a match, is a match. And you can calculate more or less like that, how far is the common ancestor back, okay? So thank you very much, Michelle. And maybe, as I said, we will dedicate a little bit more of time to DNA next week.
Yeah, that was really what I've been thinking all day. The only thing is that, as you said, the ages are really different. One's 16 and one is, and the second, third cousin is in their 70s. So there's perhaps at least 2 generations different there, but their second to third cousin, 152 centimorgans.
So, and, so you need to try to map them into the family tree. Okay.
I'll try that. Thanks very much.
Excellent. Thank you, Michelle. And Pat, go ahead. You're next. Bert, we're going to finish with you.
Back to the French records. My ancestors went from Switzerland to France and were there a couple of generations and left France in about 1728.
Okay.
To come to the Americas. Would the French records be old enough to be able to find my ancestors in France?
Well,
they were a couple of generations.
So the answer is yes. I do know that our collections go back to the 1700s, like 1700. Okay. It's just an issue of luck that what we call the parishes or the areas of the country, the records survived for the years that you need in the areas that your family were living over there, including the censuses. That the good news is that they did census every 5 years, as Mike taught us last week. But again, not all the regions have the census, either because the record didn't survive or they didn't do the records on those times. So yeah, definitely it's worthwhile to give it a try. At least you have a range of years. So I will probably recommend you to just use those in the search part and try to look for those specific records from those years.
Okay, thank you.
Pleasure. Bert, go ahead. Yeah.
About the French records as well. I understand these are the filet records originally.
Yeah.
But we have them available now on MyHeritage, or do we still need the account on the filet original?
Well, it's either or. You can either keep, if you have an account in filet, use that account and search them over there. Or if you have a MyHeritage account with the data plan, you will be able both to search and to get it through the record matches. The advantage, of course, of having it on MyHeritage is, first of all, the record matches that you will not need to search. We will push to you the matches that we think are matching your family in that collection. The other advantage, and probably not for this crowd, because French and English is all Latin characters, but now people from around the world in Greece and Russia, Ukraine, even here in Israel, when they use different alphabets, they will be able to search in their languages and get results with those records, while in Philae you had to search in Latin characters or French characters. But it's either or. Technically, you don't need to keep an account here and there. It's wherever you prefer to access the records and to have your family tree.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, my pleasure. And thank you all for being here today one more time. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a little bit more. I certainly did. Again, I just envy those French records that tells you exactly where the line is with that purple mark. And I think you have a lot of homework to do, not only with the French records, but also with all those dead records for free that we are having available until November 2. So with this, please take very good care of yourself and do a little bit more of genealogy this weekend. Goodbye, everybody. Have a wonderful day.